So this is very odd. This is Savannah Guthrie talking about her missing mother, but people had noticed something very similar.
She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
Catherine is very gentle and kind. Talk to her and you'll see.
So people are saying that what Savannah said is very similar to what the senator said in the movie Silence of the Lambs when her daughter went missing. People are also saying that it's eerie that Savannah's brother is wearing a shirt that looks sort of similar to the blouse or the scarf that the senator is wearing beneath her jacket. Another eerie coincidence to Silence of the Lambs is that it had a special first premiere in Los Angeles back on February 1st, 1991, before it officially came out. That would mark 35 years to the date that Savannah Guthrie and her family would discover their mother went missing on February 1st, 2026. Is this just a coincidence, or is the whole world a stage? So in my last video, I had spoken about how news reported, and coming directly from the news, that 4 moons were seen above Russia's night sky. They said it was a moon dog, and I said that's interesting because a moon dog typically looks like this. Flash forward a week later and we have a couple more odd sky sightings, one involving the moon and another involving the sun. This video comes from Morgana Was Here.
So I am quite literally outside, and again, this is now 2 days later and it's happening again. And there we go. It does it again.
And we also have another news report, this time coming from Times Now, that 4 suns were seen in the skies above Alaska.
Oh my, they look so close. Like you can touch them. Never seen the sky do this. It feels wrong and beautiful at the same time.
It's like the world just doubled down on the sun.
So then what was the explanation? Well, they gave the same exact explanation that they gave the 4 moons seen in Russia. They said what these people witnessed in Alaska was a complex sundog. Looking up photos of a complex sundog, I'm presented photos like this and nothing like that. So then what's going on here? I mean, I really don't know, but the one theory that I really do like that I've been seeing a lot lately is that what these people are seeing are actually holograms. Which would make a lot of sense given the fact that not everybody is seeing this and they may be testing holograms in certain locations, and it also makes a lot of sense when you remember that they have a lunar and solar simulator patented. What makes the hologram theory even stronger is that this happened once before back in 2021 in Dubai. People all over Dubai saw 2 moons in the sky. The UAE government, they did not say it was a moon dog like we're hearing over here. They said it was actually them using advanced projection technology for some kind of Mars publicity stunt. So unless it was an actual weird phenomenon these people witnessed and the UAE government is just trying to cover it up, that begs the question, if they can do it, why can't other governments around the world do it? And maybe test runs for more nefarious purposes, think Project BB. This was also witnessed by people over in Saudi Arabia in January, and again the same excuse, it was just a sundog. And once again over in Russia in January, residents saw 2 suns, and these look like 2 suns that are just completely shining. So yeah, I just think the best theory, and one that I do agree with, is that these people are seeing holograms being tested. But outside of the sun and the moon, people are also seeing other strange things in the skies, like for example over in Trinidad, people saw this. News and media tried saying it was a meteor, but that's kind of slow for any meteor I've ever seen before. Somebody else took an alternate angle of it. The video keeps going for quite some time, and I don't think they even captured the object hitting the ground, whatever that was. But yeah, they said it was just a meteor, meteors and moondogs. But moving on, in this next video, a streamer was videotaping in Antarctica, and this happened.
Okay, cool. It's not such devices. They are not anything that is related to the internet connection. Cybersecurity is completely forbidden.
Really? So no one's allowed to have a Starlink?
Nope, not even a single piece of internet.
Really? On land?
That is not secure. No.
Is that for like all of it? I'm just asking questions. I'm not arguing with you. For all of Antarctica?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. For all, it's available for all ships. It's not only this ship, all the ships around, and especially this one. We have cybersecurity. We have policies to follow. Unfortunately, we cannot let you.
Right, bring it on land.
Yeah.
And that's for every ship in Antarctica?
Yeah, for everybody.
Okay.
But our procedures, they are very strict, and such devices, they are not allowed, unfortunately.
Yeah, no. That's fine. Thank you for informing us. I apologize if there was any issue. I just didn't. I didn't see any problem with it, like online when I was researching and stuff. But
Okay.
you're the captain.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Sorry for taking you away
No
from
problem.
your station.
No problem.
I apologize.
Hello.
Looking for me or?
Not really. No.
Oh, okay. I just had smoke.
I just want to tell you that it's not nice that we stream us online. So just for your information, we have no more internet access from now for the rest of the cruise.
Okay, can I turn off my stream then? Because I need like 2 minutes to like turn off my server.
No, your internet is gone now.
Oh, I
No.
can't.
What in the world is going on over in Antarctica to the point that you can't stream, you can't videotape without permission, without strict authorization? When we see people videotaping Antarctica, they need strict permission, and this guy thought he could stream without anybody's permission, and well, you saw what happened. What is there they don't want exposed? There has to be something there that they don't want the public to see, because if we do, I guess it would put the world on its head. All these countries that we think are enemies on the TV screen anyway, all agree with one thing: Antarctica. But moving on, in this next creepy video, this individual recorded whatever kind of snow this happens to be.
So, does somebody want to tell me what kind of snow melts like this? Look at it. It's like rubbery. It's crazy. Look at the film on top of the ice. Look at this. Look at this. Tell me what kind of snow melts like that. It's crazy. Look at this. It's on all of it. Y'all let me know what you think.
Some people are calling that snow mold or snow fungus. Look, I've been on this planet for 39 years, never heard of anything called snow fungus before, but to be fair, I haven't heard of something called snow fleas either. Maybe I'm just in a different reality where snow mold is normal, but I know one thing: I wouldn't have touched that with my bare hands. But moving on, people all across social media, whether it's X, YouTube, Reddit, TikTok, and so forth, are saying that something big is going to happen at this year's Super Bowl. For example, this video comes from Dead Estate Band.
Let's take a look above. As you can see, the Super Bowl image for 2026. If you look at the colors, you will see it's the same exact colors as the emergency broadcast system. You see the silver all the way to the left. You see the silver Lombardi trophy that says Super Bowl. You have your yellow, then your light blue, which is the sky. You can see the green. Just look at it. And then the fuchsia, almost violet, pinkish color. You can see it in the trees, the red on the bridge here, and then the dark blue right above the bridge under the light blue, under those white clouds right there. Now, we all know that it's always symbolism inside of these type of images. Now, why would the Super Bowl logo this year have the same colors as the emergency broadcast system? Not to mention, ICE is going to be patrolling at the Super Bowl. So what is it that they know is coming that we don't know is coming?
The Super Bowl or the Superb Owl is just one giant ritual every year. We see it in the halftime shows. We see it with the commercials. People's emotions are high. It just feels like an energy harvesting ritual. Then it seems like almost every year lately, it's being spread around on social media that something bad will happen at the Super Bowl. Again, it's just one giant ritual, but I do have to say the color choice is definitely very interesting, that it matches color for color with the emergency broadcast system.
Well, I just went down a rabbit hole. When I first heard about this, I thought it was just like a creepypasta type thing, but no. This is real life, which makes it even more terrifying. It all started back in 2021 when a Reddit user posted 3 separate Instagram accounts that they had come across. One of them had this username, TruthSticks11, and in the account's description it said that it was a 12-year-old boy's account that was looked after by his mother. But the videos on this account were very unsettling. The posts began innocent enough and truly seemed like a mother just bragging about her son and his accomplishments in school, but over time, the pictures got more and more strange. Like they were heavily edited or might even be AI. I mean, the little boy we once saw in the photos didn't even look like a child anymore. And then it transformed into something more similar to CP. Sometimes the posts would even have this child's face photoshopped onto the bodies of adults that were dressed provocatively. So it started to become more and more obvious that the account was not run by a child or even a mother, but by an online predator. And then multiple other pages started to surface, all posting the same type of disturbing content, but some of them using pictures of actual children. Now, these other accounts seemed random at first until they started interacting with each other. And another thing that stuck out was that these accounts were all absolutely obsessed with high-heeled mini boots. Like, these types of shoes were pretty much shown in every single post. And that brings us to Smart Schoolboy 9. It was clear that this account, just like the others, was clearly an adult posing as a child, but the way they were doing this was different. They weren't using AI images or pictures of real children. They were using pictures of themselves. A fully grown man dressed in a children's school uniform recreating these AI images with his makeup and obsessing over high-heeled mini boots. He also posts videos of himself that are incredibly creepy, and he even leaves the house dressed this way. He also had a video of him chasing a little boy in his high-heeled mini boots. If you watch the videos where he's speaking and then go back and watch the videos on the other pages, they're undeniably the same voice, which is just confirmation that this full-grown man is the one behind all of these accounts for whatever sick reason. Now, when the internet got wind of this, they did even more digging and found dozens of accounts all doing the same thing. This man had created his own community of children that interact with each other, except it's all just him. But he's also been known to comment and interact with content of real children, which is so scary. Internet sleuths did thankfully figure out who is behind all of this, and it's a 59-year-old man named David Alter. We don't know a whole lot about this guy, just that he has no criminal record and that he actually had an article featured in the newspaper about the importance of children wearing school uniforms. Thankfully, this guy is being investigated by the proper authorities, but I just really hope he was stopped before he was able to victimize anyone.
That video came from Oddities on Elm Street, and it's very eerie to think that you never truly know who you're living next to or who you're bumping into in your everyday life. This could have easily been any one of our neighbors. There are definitely some very eerie people out there that just have an obsession with children. But moving on, what in the world is going on here?
On December 18th of 2025, this creepy video, based out of Mexico, began going viral. And in the video, the user comes across a camera from a local market and decides to purchase it, even though it had a red sticky substance on it. But after a bit of restoration, he gets it to work again. And immediately, he's thrown off guard when his dog begins to act incredibly odd.
A Tuco no le gusta la cámara.
Ven,
Tuco, ven. Tuco, ven. Ven, mira. Tuco. Una foto, Tuco. No. Mira. Tuco. No. Hey. Tuco. Tuco. Hey.
Now, even though he was a bit creeped out, he was glad to find out that the camera still worked. In addition, the SD card worked as well, and he was able to pull up the photos from the previous owners. And at first, it would look like a completely normal family. But this is when the story takes a dark turn, because not only did the family appear to live in America, but the last folder on the SD card was the most disturbing.
Parece que viven en Estados Unidos. Todo se ve muy normal. Esta foto me sacó un susto. La siguiente carpeta son las fotos que yo tomé. Última carpeta. Parece ser su casa de noche. Todo está muy desordenado. Es obvio lo que está regado en el suelo. Realmente no sé qué opinar. La última foto.
Now, I mentioned previously that he posted this on the 18th of December because he continued to post updates about the camera and his dog up until the 28th of December. And on his final update, he posted a short clip, and it simply read, "Sorry for my absence. Due to the holidays, I left my city for a few days. See you again on January 1st. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year." But it didn't take long for his new followers to take this video and turn the saturation all the way up. And they swear that you can see a face in the darkness.
Tuco knew not to mess with that camera, and it looked like he may have witnessed a crime scene or some type of ritualistic sacrifice.
The following home security footage comes from a woman named Charlene out of North Carolina. On the night of February 1st, 2026, something unidentified flew over their neighborhood. But here's the thing. It's not a typical UFO. It's not an airplane. It's not a drone. This is something completely else. But what that something is the question. But there is also something you need to know. There has been an uptick in supposed Mothman sightings ranging anywhere from Chicago to the East Coast. Could this be connected? Take a look at the footage, comment below, tell me what you think.
That video came from the paranormal chick. When I saw this, whatever that was produced a very large shadow, but I instantly thought of those black flying things I've been talking about for quite some time on this channel.
Whistleblower from 23andMe came out stating that they were looking at Romanian bloodlines to see if there was any truth to vampire phenomenon that has been written about for centuries, dating back to the times of Vlad Dracul, also known as Count Dracula. The story goes that some sort of bloodline chimera twist happened with humans and some sort of other entity. What that entity is, I don't know. Reptilian, maybe? That's the theory. Reptilian, alien, hybrid. Report states that basically there was some sort of chimera change back in the hundreds of years ago. People today are showing signs of it starting to unrepress itself. People are starting to have these shape-shifting changes, as reported by Billy Corrigan and many others in the music industry. Faces are shape-shifting right in front of people's eyes. It actually happened to me. I actually dated a person that had bloodline from Romania, and she would get angry a lot, and she'd get angry, and her face would change to almost dragon-esque / human-esque appearing. Freaked me out, but then again, I was stupid and young, right? So you think that there is some sort of blood chimera transformation that happened 100 years ago, and it's just not really been able to be unrepressed until now? Or do you think that there is just a fake story going around out there? I'd love to hear what your theories are. Has there ever been any experiences you've had with vampires or people that seemed off? Let me know. Put your comment in the comment section. Latanya for Southeast.
That video came from Lockdown 24/7. Now, I don't know if they were looking for vampires or something else, but I don't trust the official narrative that they were just seeing who we were related to, our genealogy. They were definitely looking for something. What that was, I don't know. But yeah, they were searching for something. What is even more interesting is that the CEO of 23andMe, Anne Wojcicki, lost 23andMe when she went bankrupt. And then for whatever reason, her nonprofit that she's the CEO of took it over again. So they're hiding something. Let's also not forget how much 23andMe and the kits appeared in the files as well. Very bizarre stuff. This video comes from the Formidable Genealogist.
So why was Jeffrey Epstein buying all of these 23andMe DNA kits and sending them to Geneva or the UAE? I'm trying to figure out why there are thousands of mentions of these DNA kit purchases throughout the files. There are so many of these files where Epstein is sending DNA kits to people. Here's one where, hi Leslie, we've just used your email address to register Jabor's DNA test. And I've looked up, not really sure yet who that is. Here, Leslie is saying she's trying to register this at 23andMe and says that she doesn't know Jabor's last name, just that it starts with a Y, doesn't know his birth date, feels like she needs to put all of this stuff in here. Here's a really bizarre one from Woody Allen, and it has gross stuff in it too, which I'm not really going to talk about, but it is this file number if you want to go look it up, where Woody says, your DNA kit was not helpful as the only question I was interested in was what year I was born, and they weren't able to test for that. I called them. That is really bizarre. Epstein says you need to review relatives. And I'm assuming this wouldn't be about Woody Allen. I'm assuming it would be about his adopted daughter wife, Soon-Yi. They can pinpoint it so accurately with dinosaur bones, I don't know why they can't find out on human bones. The relatives won't be able to help me. You're going on a stray path. I doubt any of my relatives have done the 23andMe kit or any DNA kit for that matter. And then Epstein says, should we have an election night party? And Woody Allen says, only if Hillary wins. Otherwise, we're not celebrating. There's a lot more correspondence of 23andMe kits being delivered to the New York Palace Hotel for Sultan bin Sulayem, and more 23andMe kits being sent to England in care of Fraser Curley for Aziza Al-Ahmadi. Jeffrey would like to send 2 genetic kits from 23andMe to Noam and Valeria Chomsky, please. When you did the 23andMe test, did you do it under the name of Sam Epstein? Cousin Larry. Obviously, it's not surprising that they were registering kits under fake names. Here's one. Hi, Sultan. We can register a kit for you as Rashid Epstein. Can you please let me know where we should send the kit once this is done? For Sheikh Mohammed. They were trying to send kits to the UAE, but 23andMe caught it and didn't allow it. But this email shows that they were taking tests from the UAE that had been invalidated and then swapping them into legitimate US-based 23andMe kits for processing. Was this part of it? Pause to read this one. Anyway, after going through all of these emails, I don't have a clear idea of what exactly was going on, but obviously a lot of fraud.
Okay, hold on a second. Did you not hear of the woman who followed 1,000 dogs and cats throughout their whole lives? She was a veterinarian, and so she kept tabs on them. And she studied 1,000 dogs and cats that went to every single well visit, and the 1,000 dogs and cats that were like just on the farm and not going to a vet ever. And she expected that the life expectancy of the dogs that went to the vet all the time would be like higher, right? All different breeds. Her findings were that of the opposite. She thought she got something mixed up, like what's going on here? How is this the case? But the dogs and cats that went to the vet the most often had the shortest lifespans. I mean, why? Why would that be? Speaking of pets, pet food. You know that there's a famous saying, dogs and cats can survive on kibble, but they will never thrive on kibble. They're not supposed to eat kibble, dried up, curly, freaking freeze-dried freaking sawdust. Like, they need raw meat.
That video came from Shane Vibes, and I'm sure there are some very good vets out there that just care for animals, but it's just like people, it's just like humans. This is a big business, and I'm sure also it is rampant with corruption. I have my own story. I had a lab mix that passed away of cancer, but first she had what looked like a big lump in her throat, and we thought it was like some type of inflammation. So we took her to this vet, and they want to do all these tests, have surgeries done, all this money we were about to spend until something told us to get a second opinion. We took her to another vet, and instantly they knew it was lymphoma, and she passed away only months from the diagnosis. No hundreds of dollars for lab work, no thousands of dollars for surgeries. They just felt her and they instantly knew.
A security guard is doing rounds at a hotel when she suddenly comes to a stop after encountering something very disturbing. This video took place in 2019 and was recently shared by a friend of the security guard shown in the clip. At first, the friend who posted this wasn't sure if sharing this online would be a good idea. What was captured, according to them, is something that the hotel would rather keep under wraps. Perhaps to avoid reminding people of a terrible incident that occurred many years ago. In 1986, this exact hotel, which was formerly called the DuPont Plaza, had mysteriously caught fire, resulting in many lives being lost. Guests had no choice but to leap off their balconies as the flames had engulfed the whole building. The sight of this was hard to bear, to say the least. But fast forward to 2019, and the hotel is now rebranded and remodeled under a different company. However, from time to time, strange things would happen here. Hotel guests would report supposed paranormal experiences and blame the fire incident that occurred years ago to explain this. The following video is a prime example of what guests experience while being here. It's late at night when apparently something pulls the security guard's hair. Take a look. Looking closely, you can see that her ponytail is the first thing that moves before she tilts her head. However, its movement is anything but subtle. It's as if something had yanked her hair, causing her to jerk her head in a sudden motion. According to the friend who posted this, the security guard thought that someone had ran away upon pulling her hair. But after watching this clip, that clearly wasn't the case. Her hair was definitely pulled, but it wasn't someone she could identify, let alone see. What happened here, as the friend believes, was something unexplainable.
Yeah, without a doubt, and not even with the hair pulling, just the history of the hotel itself, that would just instantly be my last day working there.
In 1978, a 20-year-old pilot named Frederick Valentic was flying a small plane over the Bass Strait in Australia. But mid-flight, he radioed air traffic control saying something was following him, not another plane. He said it was hovering above him, moving impossibly fast with 4 bright lights, and that it wasn't showing up on radar. Then his voice changed. He said the object was circling him, that it was metallic, and that it seemed to be playing games with his aircraft. Air traffic control asked for clarification. Frederick responded with his final words, "It's not an aircraft." Then the radio cut to 17 seconds of metallic scraping sounds. No distress call, no crash report. His plane was never found. No wreckage, no oil slick, no body. Years later, multiple people reported seeing strange lights in the sky that same night. The official explanation? Pilot error, disorientation. But here's the problem. How do you misidentify something that's above you, circling you, and not on radar? And how does a plane disappear without leaving a single trace? Because Frederick Valentic didn't just vanish. He was last heard being followed. Stay weird. In 1978,
that video came from Beyond Weird, and I don't think people talk about Frederick Valentic as much as they should, especially in the scope of Amelia Earhart, because he was never seen or heard from again, and this is his eerie final audio.
Delta Sierra Juliet, what type of aircraft is it? Delta Sierra Juliet, and confirm you cannot identify the aircraft. Delta Sierra Juliet, roger. Stand by. Can you describe the aircraft? Delta Sierra Juliet, roger. How large would the object be? Delta Sierra Juliet. Delta Sierra Juliet, confirm the aircraft just vanished. Delta Sierra Juliet, is the aircraft still with you? Delta Sierra Juliet, roger. What are your intentions?
AI took over the world hundreds of years ago. Your history is all AI. Photoshop has been around for hundreds of years, through various means. Photos themselves are much older than we are told. At least 200 years. And I don't believe the first Photoshop is in 1857 like they say. The Mona Lisa was printed. It wasn't painted. Renaissance paintings like the Mona Lisa were made with 2-micron paint. 30 to 50 microns is the average today. It was perfectly layered and couldn't be replicated today. Yet we're supposed to believe that Da Vinci made it with mortar and pestle paints. Nothing today can be compared to what was being made in 1434 by Jan van Eyck. The reflection in the background is perfectly displaying the reversed image. No one can replicate this level of detail. This is a print, a laser print. Photoshop was also done through etching. We have all been getting catfished. How much of the history has been etched away? These are the original filters. Cartoon filter, whitewash filter, sepia, grayscale. Supposedly there were no Civil War photos in battle, but plenty right before. And it doesn't stop with people. Looks like a lively city block, huh? Those people are painted in. This is in the New York Public Library. You can see they're painted in if you look closely. That horse was never there. You can see they removed people from this one. Their legs are still there. I'm sure many of you know about the Vanilla Sky photos. What a terrible crop job there. They edit out the skies and remove buildings. The sky is commonly cropped out poorly. This whole building is superimposed onto this block. Yet they have been able to solve overexposure in the skies since 1867 with the collodion process. Oops, actually 1857. Yet we get vanilla skies even into the 20th century. Maybe this is why. Even in film we have layering. Half the people aren't even paying attention to this. History is worse than chicks with BBLs and filters. And don't get me started on the sculptures. I've actually been to this place too. The name of this piece is called Deception. It's made out of a block of marble. It's a fishnet made out of a block of marble, and he made it in secrecy. More laser technology that the mutants took over after the reset. That slightly raised pinky causing that muscle flex being captured perfectly like that. The Renaissance was a reset.
This is one of my favorite theories by far, and I've spoken it quite often on both of my channels, this channel and Minutes of Horror, that AI is a lot older than we think. And a lot of these older photos from the 1800s, even the early 1900s, just seem very weird. They seem off. But in any case, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.